Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa. RwandAir.
Moving on to Emmanuel, in the context of Malawi, how has the country leveraged on creative arts, if at all it has, to help solve the problem of unemployment of the youth? You could give us a few cases if you do.
Thanks so much. First of all, let me say my name is Emmanuel Chinonda. Basically, I'm an international consultant. I've got three titles. I'm an international consultant for arts professionals. I'm a director for the School of Entrepreneurship and Wealth Creation. And I've just been appointed as a country director for Global Institute in America. So basically, those are my positions. I'm an author. I've authored 7 books, which you can access on Amazon. Suffice to say, you know, being creative, it means you must be able to think in a completely different way. That's what being creative is all about, is thinking deep about things. And here we are talking about employment. Employment, focusing on 2 areas, hospitality industry and the arts. You know, most of the times in our various countries, we underrate the arts. We just feel like it's a low position, something which, you know, you don't have maybe to study to be an artist. These people, maybe they're not the way we look at them. We don't look at them in a positive light most of the times. But that's where money is. Now, I know that there are so many branches of creative arts. It's not just writing. There's painting, there's music, there's literature, there's dance. And these areas, you can find out that it's a value chain. You can have a lot of people employed in these different areas. But because we actually think like it's not an area of importance, we actually lose an opportunity. Basically, the purpose of art, why people focus on art, is people want to express emotions. So how do you express emotions? They express them through arts. You also look at, you want to communicate history. How do you communicate history? Through arts. You want to expose injustices. How do you do that? Of course, through arts. You, of course, overcome obstacles and you gain understanding of the world through art. Now, focusing on art is something which we need to encourage our children, our relatives, our young guys to focus on. And I was looking at the kinds of art which people should focus on. Things like cinema, for example, the paintings, these are all part of arts, architecture, literature, theater, music, and so on. So you can see, in all these things, we can find the missing link in terms of people finding employment. I'm mindful of what you have said, that I should talk about my country. I will actually veer into that. But first of all, I want just to give like a background. Now, look, we have got unemployment. But first of all, let's unpack what is unemployment. Because you cannot be talking about something which technically we do not understand. When we talk about unemployment, what do we mean? Simply put, I think this is referred to the share of the labor force that is without work but available for and seeking employment. So they are available, they have got maybe the skills, but work is not found. And this is what we are actually trying to address now. In sub-Saharan Africa, according to statistics in 2020, there was 6.6% of unemployment. In 2019, 6.28%. And focusing on Africa, because that's the focus, 60% of the population in Africa is aged below 25. Now, this is why this subject is key. 60% they are below 25, which means we have got the youngest population in the world, according to statistics. Having said that, we must take an initiative to ensure that the young guys find something to do, and they must find productive work. And usually, International Labour Organization emphasizes on decent work. So arts becomes, I think, first port of call whereby people can focus on. Interestingly, you do not have to maybe go to university to study art. Even somebody who has never gone to the university can actually be an artist. The interesting part about it is, now, most of the youth in Africa, we have a population of about 226 million. These are youth. And if we focus on them, we should be able to find something for them to do. And that will take you and me to be able to be innovative, to think about how we change their mindset. Equally correct, let me touch on the hospitality industry. The word hospitality, it also has to be defined. Hospitality is just an umbrella name. There are so many businesses associated with hospitality. So you can see, when you look at hospitality, people just think about maybe a hotel people are going to eat. But in the eating, there is also recreation. In the recreation, hospitality, there is also, entertainment. In the entertainment, there is also lodging. So all these are part and parcel of finding ways of how people can actually be employed. So indeed, it is the missing link because of ignorance. So we need to remove that ignorance to be able to pinpoint clearly what jobs are available in the hospitality industry. Because people don't know. Now, where people are ignorant, it's very difficult for them, to come up with the, innovative ideas. So we need to actually get that correct.
Okay, thank you.
Pardon?
Okay. Just in 30 seconds.
Okay,
let
me just finish with the what initiatives which are taken in my country, because that's the question. Now here I was just addressing about hospitality and so on.
Okay.
What's happening is there are initiatives. We have got what we call Agenda 2063, and it has got 3 pillars. Now, there is an element, the 3 pillars, there is urbanization, one of the elements, and this is where tourism is focused on. There are so many initiatives which are being taken to make sure that young people are employed in different areas. So having said that, there's in the artist world, there are also some initiatives which are being taken as of now. They are thinking about heritage cultural centers where people can be employed, and maybe I should stop here to make sure that other people come in. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Emmanuel. There's something that has been common in most of your submissions, and Anne mentioned one of them, the fact that people take up creative arts as the last resort. When they fail at other things, they're like, let me do arts. Let me join maybe hotel business. And Anne, this is a question that I would pose to you because it puts us back to one of the discussions that we had earlier, the colonial education system. Do you think we need a shift in our education system because it pays little emphasis and gives little emphasis to the creative arts as a means of employment? Do you think it's an area we need to rethink, and how can we bring about this transformation?
Thanks so much.
No, sorry, Anne. Anne Kalembe.
Oh, sorry, I didn't quite get that.
Okay.
I'll
Should
give
I
you an
repeat the
example
question?
myself.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here now.
Okay.
I'll give you an example of myself. I did a 3-year degree, a Bachelor of Tourism in Makerere. And when I got out of the university, I'll be quite honest with you, I did not know what to do in the hospitality industry. A lot of what we were taught was not even practical in day-to-day life. I couldn't draft an itinerary for even a simple safari. I was basically green when it comes to professionalism. So I took up an international diploma. Most people call it IATA. And it lasted just 9 months. After those 9 months doing a foundation diploma, I knew everything that I had wanted to know in the 3 years. So I really believe that whatever curriculum we are using as a country or as a continent has to change. Let's move with the times. Let's see what actually makes sense. I am lucky or unlucky to employ people straight out of the university, but most of what they do now and what they do to add value to the company, I have to teach them, because much as they have the credentials, they do not have the practical knowledge of how to run things in the tourism industry. You'll find, unlike maybe the people who go and do, say, a catering course at YMCA, they'll come out with some knowledge, but then it will still be limited. When you look at the tour guides, they do not have a place where they are getting training. They learn on the job. So what about us developing a curriculum that is going to teach people the practical skills so that by the time they get out of school, they are ready for the job market? So to answer your question, everything is wrong with our colonial education system, and it's high time we change it.
Okay, thank you very much, Anne. Emmanuel, please feel free to give your submission in a minute.
Okay. You see, when we talk about all these things, skill is important. What is a skill? It's an ability for you to do something. So people are supposed to be skilled, to be able to get into arts, even to be able to get into hospitality industries. My friend here has already articulated, there are certain, competencies you need to become, for example, somebody in a hospitality industry. For example, you need elements of customer service. You must be able to service customers properly. You must have elements of teamwork. You must be able to work in a team, and that is very critical. And you must be able to be somebody who is happy with people so that you can move forward. Now, our major cause of unemployment, the way I see them, suffice to say, is that, first of all, there is low level of education, all right, in terms of the specific areas we are focusing here. And their lack of adequate skills, which people are supposed to have in order to make things move. In some cases, you see, there is job selectivity. We choose which jobs I want my kids to get to, and that is a big issue. Suffice to say, limited opportunities available, because there may be some opportunities available for employment, but they are actually hidden. They are not available. With that, it becomes really a big issue. And that's why maybe we need the policy makers to be able to make good policies which would actually harness the people who are out of cycle, they don't have information about hospitality, about the arts, in order for these people to get a buy-in.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. And we can't end this discussion without talking about something that has been around for the last 2 years. That's the pandemic. And it's one of the things that greatly affected the hospitality and creative sector. And I would like to pose this question to our two panelists, Apollo and Jean. What practical steps can be taken to revamp the sector in the face of reduced revenue, reduced tourists, and also while solving one of the biggest problems we have, which is unemployment? Please give your submission in a minute.
Before I answer the question, I just would like to come back on the educational bit. We need trainings or schools, technical schools, that teach people how to cook, how to do a bed, how to clean. But then we have a need to have professionals in the hospitality industry to lead, to manage. Management in our sector and here in Uganda, it's a big challenge. We have people that learn on the field, that have some technical background, but when it comes the moment to take more responsibility, to become a leader of a team, to strategize, to put in place new ideas, creativity, this is what is missing, and this is a curriculum that it's missing somewhere. I would say it's business for hospitality, management, a management school where it's specialized in hospitality and can prepare the future leaders. Today, there is a big frustration in the Ugandan markets because when we look for a manager, we find very rarely people that have that background. So we have to look into Kenya, we have to look into other destinations, and eventually bring an expatriate that will cost much more to a company than anyone that you will have recruited. So I believe that there is a model to be retaught by the educational authorities when we say that tourism and hospitality, it's a priority in the country. Today we don't have the proper educational entities to face that demand. Now going to the pandemic, I mean, pandemic were of course, a very challenged period, but we learn a lot. I learned a lot. I was not prepared for that. I could never imagine going through this in my career. And we started everything from scratch, and I'm very proud of the team I have around me that has supported, and we had to be very creative. We had to find ways of surviving. We have to find ways of generating revenues, maintaining, being able to cover the costs, looking for alternatives, new services that we were not used to deliver. So there is a series of things that have been new, not only for me here at the Sheraton Hotel, but other hotels. We have diversified our activities, and we have looked very much in the local market. There was no other market. There was only, and that was very beautiful because the local market responded very positively and gave us the support that we needed to cross these 2 years. Now looking into the future, I would say all that experience we went through those 2 years will remain there. It gave us strength, it gave us, I would say, a different structure to face the challenges, because the world is always changing, there is always something new happening. So we need to always to be prepared to some new events that might change completely the way we do the business. I would say that the very positive side of the pandemic was to boost us, to make us change, to make us think, to make us rethink the way we do things. Okay. And I think that we shall maintain that spirit.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jim. Clearly, everything has a pro and a con, so maybe the pandemic had its pros here and there. We would like to get the submission from Apollo, and as you give your response to some of the practical steps we can take to revamp the sector, you can give your closing remarks.
Okay, thank you very much. So before I give my submission, I'd also like to respond to the earlier question you asked about, is it about our education systems, colonial education systems, or something else? And I'd like to pose a question to some of the parents that are with us here. Because for me, I see it's more an issue of mindsets than colonial education systems. If your son or daughter walks up to you today and tells you, tomorrow I'm going to be on a stage, I'm going to share a stage with Chameleon, or Gravity, or Mutuju, what would be your reaction? Are you going to say, yeah, finally you found a job, or are you going to call a clan meeting? Yeah, because if we get to a point where we begin to understand that when we're talking about the creative sector, we are talking about a serious industry that requires a number of interventions, then we'll have stepped the discussion to another level. And talking about stepping the discussion to another level, in this room here we have actors from the finance sector, from commercial banks, private equity financiers. You know, the creative sector. Right now, I don't think there's any commercial bank right now that has a product that is focused on lending to the creative sector. So we are now going to start holding these conversations with financial institutions, even with private equity firms, to let them know if you can bankroll a manufacturing sector entity, then we can also get you statistics to show you how, if you bankroll a talent manager, how that money is going to end up coming back into your pocket. But other than that, the pandemic taught us a lot. The pandemic taught us to think outside the box. The pandemic also taught us to realize that we can depend on ICT or technology-driven solutions to look after us. Technology-driven solutions brought us medicine. Technology-driven solutions helped us seek medical advice. Technology-driven solutions helped us order for food or transportation services during the pandemic. And we are going to leverage those very same systems to make sure that the creatives can get more skin in the game. Now, one of the societies that we are considering working in partnership with is the UPRS, the Uganda Performing Rights Society, because I think the elephant in the room when it comes to the creative sector is the topic of copyright. How do we ensure that the young people that are creating stuff, when it gets out of their phone or out of their hands, and before it can be shared all over the world, that they're actually getting something out of it? And that's a factor of our copyright laws. So we'll be engaging with the UPRS to go deeper into that, to understand what that could look like. We also need to work on local content laws. I already talked about it, but also leveraging different ICT platforms so that young people out there can work through AfroMobile, Netflix, whatever platform we can work through to sell their DJ mixes, to sell their songs, to sell their movies. And at the back end of these ICT platforms, we ensure that there are clear revenue generation models for the artists, the creatives, and most importantly for our government. So we'll also be engaging with the Uganda Revenue Authority for them to understand the kind of money that can be generated by the creatives for our country through taxation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Apollo. I'm going to...
By Nation is your go-to website for exclusive content with in-depth stories, analysis, and detailed coverage. Sign up with these quick and easy steps. Visit www.monitor.co.ug. Sign up for free for a limited period of time with either Facebook or Google. Or you can enter your email address, password, followed by your phone number. Click Sign Up. You are now a registered user. Your privacy will be protected when you share information with us. This registration is part of our effort to understand our audiences and make better business decisions to serve you better. For any queries, please contact us on 0312 301 230 or email us at customercareug@ug.nationmedia.com. Monitor, powered by Nation. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to Nobel.
Internet is not only important, but is part of us now. We use it in our studies, at work, home, and while going about our daily errands. However, an inconsistent internet connection is common and can be frustrating. But the good news is, we are here to the rescue. At Rock Telecom, we strive to promote integrity, dependability, innovation, customer service, and open-mindedness. Visit our website www.rocktelecom.co.ug for more information. Rock Telecom. Rock Telecom is licensed by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
So we pick travelers, our typical customers are people flying in and out of the country. So we pick those from the airport, wherever they're going and back. And we do this through a network of driver partners for whom we give regular business and improve livelihoods. They can book through WhatsApp, they can call us, they can email us. You know, we just try to make it as simple and convenient, as seamless as possible for our customers.
What is creating shared value all about? CSV is short for Creating Shared Value. It is a powerful business management concept that can promote companies to think differently about their approach to social and environmental issues. It is a strategy for addressing society's challenges through profitable business models. It's all about policies and practices that enhance the competitiveness of companies while improving social and environmental conditions in the regions in which they operate. CSV is not CSR. Creating shared value goes beyond philanthropy or corporate social responsibility. Shared value is not about